Hey everybody, how you doing? Hey Candace Camille, how are you? The Wellologist.
All is well.
All is well here too. I'm just sitting here. You see, I got on my sexy fit and well t-shirt, right?
I see. Listen, I need to see all of that. So just bend the camera down. Just there you go.
Okay, all
That's what I'm
right. How
talking
is
about.
that? You see it now?
Yes, yes.
So let me tell you, how have you been doing during this pandemic? I mean, I've seen you keeping it busy and you're on a 6 o'clock call and you're motivating people. How has it been like for you? Because I know you you got that energy
But
that
you
I
know
so
what?
love.
Yes, and you know what? One of the things I'd say that sometimes we're pushed into doing things that we don't like to do. Um, the pandemic have really made us pivot on a dime. So you had
Hmm.
to figure out what did you have to do, first of all, to survive in this, and then move over where you can sit inside your peace without it being chaos. So
Okay.
I had to figure out, and like you said, with my energy, what can I do from right here in my own space to help women to become sexy, fit, well, and
Hmm.
to literally have my energy in the room and make sure that you and I both have control of your body and your mind while we're moving and trying to get sexy, fit, and well. So it was something I had to think about. Number one, that what could I do? Because you hear a lot, well, you have to be online, you have to do this, but I
Hmm.
had to figure out what was for me and just for me where I can sit into it in something that I didn't mind doing, because for me working in a gym and owning a gym, my
Hmm.
whole business was shut down. So
Wow.
everything had to go online. So I went from making an income to zero income in a matter of just like that. So when they put us on quarantine, it was like, okay, you got to figure out what you have to do. So that's why it's important during this time, especially for entrepreneurs, to make
Hmm.
sure they have their emergency fund, of building their emergency fund. One of the things that it taught me was that, you know what, thank God for the emergency fund, because that was the thing that helped me get through me trying to figure out what I had to do.
And by the way, I just want to say congratulations. I have my book here. Congratulations on your new book, Sexy Fit and Well Fitness on the Go. 40 days and 40 ways to rock the rhythm of your thoughts. Congratulations on that book. How's the book going?
And you know what? Let me just back up for a little bit, because I really want folks to know that, I'm here with Candace, Brookins, and we're on Coffee with Candace, and we're just sitting down, and she got her cup, I got my water, and we're just having a chat, based on, what it is, that we do. So, and I'm Candace Camille, the Wellologist, certified emotional mastery coach. And what I do is I literally teach women, I help women to become sexy, fit, and well through
Hmm.
meals, mindset, and movement, right? With
Yeah,
results you can see in your body and feel in your soul. So one of the things during this pivot, one of the questions to get right back to it. So what I did was I literally took my book,
hmm,
and I turned it into an online course, because the book really is a fitness workbook.
hmm,
It's a fitness workbook. So, like, if
hmm,
you look in the book, it talks about not only the movement of your body or the exercises you have to do, it talks about how do you change your mind? How do you change the way you want to feel every single day? So during this time where stress is so high, and with a book with 40 now, 40 positive words you can get up and you can go into. So one of
hmm.
the things about what we want right now is that we want to be free, right? We want freedom. I want out
Definitely.
of here. But one of the things about it, if that's what you want, that's what you have to attract. So one of the things about freedom here in the book, and that's the first feeling of the day, freedom. And it says the power to think without hindrance or restraint. So we literally work out to freedom so we can attract it to the first thing in the morning. So I do a virtual online sexy fit and well class every morning at 6 a.m. I get
Hmm.
up every morning like I'm going to the gym, and I literally have my class in front of me. So it is for all levels, because I teach at a beginner level, an
Hmm.
intermediate, in advance. So it's for every woman that can come in there that want to change the way she feels. So it's
Mhm.
not about losing weight. Sexy Fit and Well is not about losing weight. Sexy Fit and Well is about feeling good. Because when you feel good, you look good. When you look
Yeah.
good, you feel good. So it kind of wraps its way around there. So like I said, you got results you can see in your body, but you can feel it inside your soul. And that's what being Sexy Fit and Well is all about. So the book is going really, really well.
Wow, good, good, good. Because we all need that. You know what? You're such a motivator. And every time that I speak to you, I just get that energy where I want to do that. One of the things for me is that I start and then I stop. I'll get on the road for a little while, and then something might be happening, something in the family, or just anything. Somebody gets sick, and I got to go take care of that. One of my challenges is getting on track with fitness and staying there.
Well, that's because you're trying to make time for it. You
Mhm.
know, you can't make time to be well. You know, it's not something that you do, it's who you become. So you really have to make a commitment to
Mhm.
yourself to do it no matter what. You know, only person should be able to pull you away from being sexy, fit, and well is God. If he ain't come down and say, chick, get up and let's go right now. I got work for you to do. You
Mhm.
do that because when you be committed to doing it for yourself, you
Mhm.
won't feel so, sometimes when you consistently going and doing for other people, you feel a little resentment. You get a little annoyed,
Mhm.
that because you have not done it for yourself because you don't have the energy or you're too tired. So one of the things I was saying for anybody that come and listen to this, don't try to make time for it, make a commitment of it. And I would say to you, the reason why you stop and start is that it's not important enough to you. And it sounds like, oh, did she just smack me? Yes.
You just smacked me, right?
Did she just give me a smack and
You
a
gave
hug?
it to me, but sometimes you know what? You got to hear it straight, right?
Straight up, no chaser.
Right,
Sometimes I gotta smack y'all and hug you at the same time,
right.
right? So because it's not important to you, and I would say to you, Candice,
Wow.
and everybody can follow that's listening to you. All of us got this one thing that's really, really important to us that we're going to do no matter what. Like when I go on social media and I see your writings, and I know you're going to take some pictures because that's your jam, right?
That's my
So
jam.
that's your jam, right? Me working bodies and minds is my jam. So I don't have to make an excuse as to why I don't want to do that because it's something I already like. Is pleasurable. The reason we stop and start is because sometimes we look at it as being hard and painful. Who wants to go to pain? Who wants to go to hard, right? And it
Mhm.
boils down to it's easy to say, oh, the heck with it, because it's not important to you and you haven't created that system. But if you take the systems like this, if you take your paparazzi system, right?
I
if
love
you,
it.
you take your paparazzi system, that's number one for you. And number two, your help of other system,
Yeah.
because, you are that person. If you take that system and bring it inside yourself first,
Mhm.
because I'm a believer that you can't really, really help other people if you're not willing to be disciplined and help yourself.
Mhm.
Especially if you're asking yourself, if you say to yourself, and we often have this conversation, I need to do it. So if you're consistently telling yourself you need to do it, the question you should be asking yourself is what's blocking you and
Mhm.
what's stopping you. And most of the time is that it's just not that important to you. You just keep
Wow.
saying you're
Wow.
going to get to it. So
Mhm.
ask yourself, what's important to me when
What's
it comes
important?
to my well-being? And commit to it. Don't make time for it. Make a commitment because we commit to our commitments. Because if you tell your fellow sister or brother or any call that you get that you're coming, I'm gonna be there at 4 o'clock, like the day we made a commitment that we were gonna get on here and do this thing, and no
Mhm.
matter what we were going through, all the
We
technical
did it.
difficulties, no matter what, we made it happen. So you have to do the same thing when it comes to your body. You have
Okay.
to make that commitment no matter what. I'm going to
Mhm.
make it happen. That's number one. Number
Mhm.
two is that if you haven't exercised for 40 years, for 20 years, for 10 years or whatever, don't think you're going to go and say, I'm going to exercise for an hour every single day. Your body and your mind is not ready for that. So you literally have to prepare to get ready. You say, you know what? I am going to work out twice a week, and I'm going to do it for a half an hour. I'm going to set aside at 6 a.m. on the days, for those of us that have to go to work or whatever, I'm going to set aside at 6 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. That's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it for a half an hour. Don't let nothing stop you. Be committed to that 6 o'clock, and don't let nothing stop you.
Yeah. I get that, because you know what, Candace, even one day last week, I had woke up and I could hear you in your mind, like, let's get moving. And I did a half an hour walk in the house, and I committed to a half an hour, but really that was a little bit too much. I need to be reminded that to take little steps, take maybe 10 minutes instead of starting off with a half an hour.
No. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go there and give you that out. Let me put it this way. If you just want to increase your heart muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because walking is really good for the heart. So now hear me and hear me good, because I know I get a lot of pushback on this, right? If you just want to increase your heart muscle and you want some heart health, I say go ahead, take your 5 to 10 minutes of walk and that. But no, let me take that in. Let me change that, because it's not fun. No, because that eradicates everything. If you want a change and you want your organs on the inside to start to rev up to change your outside, I'm going to say give yourself that 20 minutes. Start with 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's the bare minimum for you. I know you. I've worked out with you. So I can honestly say that's the bare minimum. Don't quit on yourself, especially. But first, the fine, as for those of us that's listening, you really got to own your truth. Not only are you paparazzi, but you're a foodie. So you like to eat. So you got to really, really own your truth. For those of us that's on here, that's foodies or whatever it is, own your truth about food. Because here's the deal. Food is information. It's fuel and it's energy and all that stuff, and it's sedate you, fuel you. But here's the deal about what food really is. Food is information and communication. What do you communicate to your body when you eat? Are you communicating to your body that you wanted to move? Or are you communicating and giving your body the information that you want to lay down, or that you want to gain weight? Like, what are you communicating with your body based on what you put in your mouth?
That's interesting. I never heard it put like that, really. So you're saying that what I'm eating, I'm telling my body how to behave, really. Sort of like that.
You summed it. No, not something like that. You summed it up nicely. That's it. Your food determines your behavior.
Wow.
Because it's information, right? It's communication. So if you eat this huge piece of chocolate cake, right? We all like chocolate, me, myself included. But if I go eat me a slice of chocolate cake, and I'm not talking about a slither. You go buy these cakes that cost $5 and $6. It's enough for 3 people, and we eat it by ourselves, right?
Right.
What information? Think about it. What information are you giving your body, and how are you communicated for it to act? So when we give our body those processed foods, we're telling it we want to be sluggish. We're telling them if we want to lay down. We're telling it that we want to gain weight. We're telling it that we may be predisposing ourselves to diabetes. So you want to be very, very mindful of the information and how you are communicating with your body on the intake. And that's what I work with a lot of my clients with. So that's before we work out, and that's where we work out in the mind. Because when I say I work with them through mindset, meals, and movement, you talked about the movement part, where I have the 40 days, 40 ways to rock to the rhythm of your thoughts. We rock it, right? So that's where my movement group come in. So if you want to move, that's a place to start at your level, because everybody runs their own race. The second place I have that I work with clients inside of group settings is Be Fit in 90 Meals and Mastermind. So we're talking about in 90 days, you can turn your meals around, turn your meals around, learn how to eat better. So I go in there and I literally give you menus, I give you recipes, I give you smoothies and everything else, all the information that you need to give your body so it can change into your goal. So when you know what your goal is, so if your goal is to lose weight, you know what you know what information you have to give it. If your goal is to gain more energy, you know what you have to give it, right? If your goal is to get off medication, dealing with any illnesses, those are the foods in there that I help you understand. How do you put this together to learn to eat? So that's my Be Fit 90 Meals and Mastermind. 90 days, you get like 8 weeks worth of menus and recipes that you can do. So in the other place, which is the mindset, and I have the Red Couch Chronicles Club,
I love that.
See right here.
I love that. I love that Red Couch. But before we get to your Red Couch Chronicles, give us a little background story of Candace Camille. Were you always into fitness? Where did this all come about that you had this great energy? What was the change?
Oh, child, no. I was a voluptuous 250 pounds.
Really? I don't believe it.
Really? You can go to yes, you can go to the Candace Camille Wellologist page. One of the pictures is on there for what I used to look like 30 years ago. No, I wasn't always sexy, fit, and well. I wasn't always fit. I wasn't always healthy. It's been a journey, and it's been a 30-year journey, and it came through. So just a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm a grandma, a mommy. Of course, if I'm a grandma, I'm a mommy, but it's something about being a grandma that's just grand.
And
right?
I'm a grandmother now too. You know that, right?
So, I have 5 grandchildren. I have 2 children. My baby is 40 years old, and my oldest, and my oldest, good Lord, I lie about my age so much, Candace. I have to do the quick math, but she's somewhere between 43 and 45. But
wow, Candace, that's amazing because you don't look that age yourself. That's amazing.
My disclaimer, I had that chick when I was 2, right? Because back then I was a hot mess. Today I'm just hot, right? But
I love it.
one of the things about that is that, again, back then, life, we always say life comes, and it wasn't important to me. I didn't know because I wasn't taught the value of the body. We were taught growing up, that you got to go to school, get a good job,
right?
Stay there, get a good pension out so you can die. That's basically some of the things. No one taught us the value of our bodies. They taught us that you need to go to work. And my family especially, it was like, you getting out of here. 18 years old, you getting out of here. So you're going to have to figure something out to learn how to take care of yourself as you're doing it. So that's what we were taught from little kids on. But my background is child abuse, molestation. I was homeless at one time. I went through a 4-year bout of domestic violence, but the biggest comeback, all of those setbacks, I dare say, were setups. All the lessons learned back there were setups to really set myself up for the biggest comeback of my life.
Wow.
And that was the kick cancer behind, because I am a cancer conqueror of almost 30 years now, so almost 3 decades. So basically,
congratulations on that.
Thank you. That's when the turnaround came, so it generally takes something. And I know you are a cancer conqueror too. But for me, let me tell you something. As sick as I was and about to die, everything about my life had to change if I wanted to live. And I knew that for sure. So because at first it was so painful, I didn't want to live. I literally asked God to just take me away from me. Because I didn't want to live like this. I didn't want to be a burden to my family. And I simply said a prayer one night. I know, speak this forward. I said a prayer to God one night that I was ready, because if he couldn't give me my life the way I see it, which meant that I wasn't going to be in this bed. The only thing that I asked of him is that he take care of my husband and my children, make sure they were okay. And I was ready to go, you know, to be with him. And I just simply say in Jesus' name, amen. That was my prayer that night. And I had prepared to just go on and make the transition, you know, to go on to glory. And I woke up the next day. And one of the things about the, you know, our elders, they said, girl, one day you just gonna wake up dead. So I just thought I woke up dead. So I thought God was a cool dude, took my bed and everything with me up there to heaven. But it turned out that I woke up the next day. But the miraculous part was I moved. You know, during that time, my husband, God bless his soul, I was married for 23 years. He took care of me. He took really good care of me. It's why I can sit here today and really tell this story. But that morning I woke up, I was able to move. I mean, doing this was hard. So I literally reached across at the bed thinking that nothing was going to happen, you know, and I fell on the floor. Candace, it hurt so good, right? It hurt so good, and because there was movement. So at that moment, I realized that God wasn't ready for me to die. Number one, he wasn't ready for me. That he wanted me to live, but I'm still incapacitated. I'm on the floor, but it hurt so good. I yelled so loud.
Wow.
And my husband come running in the room, and he was like, how the hell you get down there on the floor? And I said, you know, God threw me on the floor. So of course he thought I had lost my mind. He was like, Lord, the cancer done gone to a brain, right? Because I was I was insistent that God threw me on the floor, and he did. But what he did was he gave me power. He gave me power to move. And that's why when you hear me talk about movement, that's why movement is so important to me. God gave me the power, and now the assignment to help others to move, because once he gave me that power and I hit that floor, was I up running a marathon? Heck no. I tried to crawl to the bathroom and I couldn't make it. I made a mess all over myself. My husband and the aide cleaned me up, and I was fighting, put me back on the floor because I need to crawl. Right? So every day that was my thing. Get me up. I no longer wanted to use the bedpan. Get me up, get me to the side commode, put me on the floor, take me to the bathroom. So now the movement changed. So once that started happening, one of the things about it, I learned how to move. I wanted to learn how I knew from back in my teenage days, I was running track. I ran track in school and all that stuff. So I was an athlete back in my younger days. So I remember that the coach saying to me that the only way to make the body strong is to move and eat good food. And that just came running back in my mind. Okay, if I gotta get strong, I gotta eat and I gotta move. So I was ready to eat and I was ready to move. But I couldn't eat because going through the chemo and everything, nothing would stay down. Everything. I would have emesis every day and throwing up. But I decided that I was going to eat and throw up until something stayed down. And that's exactly what I did. So the more I did that, the more strength that I gained, the more reading that I did on how I now had to strengthen my body through this Isocal. We call it Ensure today. Isocal that I was drinking, and how I was going to be able to move. But that's what really started my journey. So I started reading books. There's 3 books that I hold to right now to this day that I still read. Number 1 is the Bible, because God gives you a plan.
Amen.
He gives you a plan. So I go in there and I read every day. Still have done it since I got into this serious relationship with Big Daddy. I call him Big Daddy. I'm his number 1. That's how we communicate. And the other book is Back to Eden. So
I know about that book. Yes.
I know you know about that book. So that's the other book. And the third book is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So
yes, I got that one too.
even back then. So here the parallel, because we all got a parallel. You just got to go find it. See, and that's what the mindset is all about. That's what the red couch is all about. See, the only way out is back through, so you can understand what's going on, because God set it up way back then when you talking about meals, mindset, and movement, right?
Yeah.
So you talked about I had to get my meals right. I had to get my movement right. I had to get my mind right. So I had the Bible and Napoleon Hill that's helping me get my mind right, right? Then I had the thinking, the back to eating that's helped me, that's moving. And I had my coach in my head, my running coach in my head that said, you got to move. So back then the parallel was already set. So right then, when I realized that God didn't take me that night, it was that, okay, chick, you got to get an alignment for your assignment. See, your assignment is to get women moving, to get their meals in order, to get their minds in order, but I didn't know it then. So when I go back now and tell this story, that's how it all pans out. So those 3 books is the one thing that I still, to this day, and how I teach, so how I become. So that's one of the things how I stayed from that moment. It was such a defining moment in my life when I realized that. So on that day, Candace, I just went to work, and I wasn't called the Wellologist then, but I went to work to become the Wellologist. I just didn't know it back then.
Right.
So that's how I became what I am today, when you go back and read and hear that story. So that's what this is all about.
Wow. What a powerful, powerful testimony. I mean, thanks for sharing that. And it doesn't come easy. What I have learned in my life is that pain, the things that we're so uncomfortable, those challenges, they really do prepare us for our purpose. You agree with that? I'm sure. Now, when you look back, when you're going through it, you want to, sometimes want to die, like, oh God, why am I going through this? How am I going to make it through? But I can tell you, I was just talking about that today in a post that I've written, is that if you just keep put one foot in front of the other, if you can just stay in that word, because that word is so powerful, that Bible right there, them scriptures, if you get it into your heart, I'm telling you, it will propel you so much further than you could do on your own strength. And so I have a testimony to that, about that word. And it's just so awesome.
You're so correct. But let me just, can I just give you a way to turn it around when you turn it around those spaces? And that's where the emotional mastery coach comes in, because when we going through something, we consistently ask ourselves, why me? We always say we go to the left side of the brain because we go to the negative. Why me? This is so hard. This is so painful. What I've learned in my journey of it is to see what's good in the situation. So when I think about what was good, from being abused as a child, what was good about my parents, instead of hating them for what I thought that they did to me, I had to find what's good so I can smile in it and not cause stress. So in any situation that you're going through, instead of you asking yourself, why me? And going to the self-doubt or the self-sabotage, ask yourself, what's good here? So you can move, because even inside of the pandemic, I look at it like, oh my God, what's good here is absolutely amazing. Do you realize what I was able to accomplish in here? So I got my 3 good to walk on. I don't think about anything else. So if you pull your 3 good out of any situation, and that's what you pull yourself out of the valley with. So whenever you get in those moments, like I read your post today, when you get in your moments, yeah. So when you get in your moments, you simply say, okay, what's good here? Yeah. That's the question you start with, because if you start with what's bad, that's the path you're going to go down. But if you wake up in the morning and say, holy snaps, what's good about this day right up in here? Right. So that's how you get your energy moving to a positive note instead of to a negative note. So you can't go to the woe is me. I never go to the woe is me. And I done been up and down. Yes. In and out of my businesses. I have been wealthy and I've been poor. So not poor, I've been poor, right? So
oh my God. I tell you, right? I mean, I remember when I used to have a little bit of dollars, and then when I got laid off and I didn't have no money at all. Let me tell you, but you know what, Candice? I have truly seen in some of my leanness and some of my low times, I've had some of the greatest gifts and blessings that it just seemed to come. You know, it had to come from God, you know, from your friends and, you know, just getting the favor. So it has really, even though this journey hasn't always been easy like you, I look back and I say, thank you, God, because we survived it. And not only did we survive, we have thrived.
come on
We've
now.
become better, right?
Become
Not
better.
bitter. We have
And
become
I even
better, right?
I even say one better. I say we conquered. See, you gotta conquer some stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you gotta conquer it. If you stay in survival mode, you're always fighting. To stay
Yes.
in, you know, and thriving and conquering, because you know there's another level after thriving. You know, so always say that we think that we're at the top of our peak, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
figure these 2 fingers is the top, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
top of your peak. Like I'm on the top of my game,
Uh-huh.
right? But there's another level beyond that.
Yes, it
And when
is.
you get here, it's like that's where the conquering come in. I'm thriving at the top of my game. But the question now to conquer it, the same question I had to ask myself to beat cancer, to kick cancer's behind, to conquer cancer, I had to ask myself, was I willing to leap to get to that next level? See, because when you're on the peak, the top of your peak,
Mm-hmm.
you look down, you figure I'm at the tippy top, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ain't nowhere to go. If I jump up over here, I'm gonna fall down. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we generally think.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta have the courage to leap
Courage.
into the unknown.
Yes.
See, that's the conquering level. That's
Yes.
the risk. That's when you leap over here and say, you know what? There is some conquering going on here.
Hmm.
I'm going to jump and I'm going to, you figure if you leap, you're going to leap forward, but ain't nothing underneath me. How am I going to conquer this thing? See, you're going to have to learn how to levitate right there. And that's
Wow.
when you know.
Wow. Wow. You know, what is the acronym for fear? Because so many of us are suffering from fear, fear of success, fear of failure, just fear. And what do they say fear is? Fear is the...
You know, it's 2 things. The one for right now, and I'm gonna use the one that we need to really tap into right now,
Mm-hmm.
because this is what you always hear fear. Fear is false evidence appearing
real. Yes.
That's the one right now, because the false evidence, it appears real because
Yeah.
that's the story that you're telling yourself. So that's why it feels real, because you're telling yourself doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the fear. So that's the story. So what story are you telling yourself, right? So when you think about it, you're telling yourself about this pandemic. Oh my God, you know, and we can't get out of here. We don't have no money. We don't have no work. Things are running out. I'm sick of this. I'm stuck in the house. All the stories that you're telling yourself. So it makes you fearful, because you don't know what's happening. Am I going to go to work? Am I going to get eaten? You know, is the money going to run out? You know, what's going to happen to me? So that's false evidence appearing real. The one that I literally lay in is this one. Is 2 things, right? Fear is face everything and run. Face everything and run.
That's right.
Or
That's right.
face everything and rise.
Wow.
Face your fear. Face what you are afraid of, because 9 times out of 10, it's you. It's almost as a quick scenario of it's like, if you ever had a dream and you're in your dream, and I'm saying this is what happened to me, is this is how I was able to face my fear. I always kept having this dream about somebody chasing me. So in my dream, or I dare say my nightmares, somebody was chasing me. and
Mm-hmm.
chasing me. And every night for days and weeks, I've had this dream when I go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's chasing me, but I'm afraid to find out who, because I got to keep my power, and I'm able to run because I know how to run. You know, I know how to run. You ain't going to catch me. That was my fear of just running, 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 running. And one night God said, listen, turn around and face who's chasing you. You
Wow.
can't keep running forever.
Right.
Turn
Right.
around. Stop. So I'm saying to you and anybody that's listening, stop in your tracks and turn around and face your fear. And that's what I did one night inside of my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Candace, when I turned around, you know who was chasing me?
You.
Me. So
Wow.
I stopped and let me run into me.
Right.
So now
That
I
is,
have
you know what?
handled.
That is powerful. You know what? That really is powerful because you know what? It is we ourselves that tell us that we can't do it. Nobody else told us that. In our own minds, I can't do this. I can't have that. I'm not good enough. I'm not deserving of it or worthy of enough. Nobody tells us that. Maybe back in our childhood, somebody did. It's mostly that we're telling ourselves that. And I'm just
What is it?
thinking, I dwell on that scripture that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and the power and the sound mind. That one has helped me now because I'm telling you, whenever you say and you get those negative feelings, you know where that came from. You know God didn't give us that. So the enemy gave us, let's make the enemy mad, right? Let's make him mad and say, okay, you ain't telling me this. I'm going to do it anyway. I can't hear
And
you
you know
now.
what, Candace?
Huh?
That is really good. That's really good. But one of the things I lean on, I lean on Galatians 5,
Okay.
verse 22. So you're talking about the fruits of the spirit.
Okay.
And so those are the ones that you go back and you lean on. So when on those days that you speak, that's one of my scriptures I read every single day. And
Really?
also Jeremiah 29:11. Those are my jams, right?
Listen, I know the plans I have for you.
Come on.
All right. Plans to what? Prosper
Come
you,
on.
right?
Come on. Those are my jams. So I
Yeah.
read those two scriptures
Yeah.
every single day because those are the things that I lead into my day with. What is God's plans for me as we doing? Am I staying in alignment with my assignment? And am I in good spirits? So when we're talking about the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
the food of the spirits right here, I make sure that I'm right there. So you
Mm-hmm.
got to decide on your spirit, like where do you want to go? And that's why the book is so important too. Even though we may think it's a fitness book, but it's a fitness of the mind and spirit before you can get to the body. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things about when you wake up, and even in my class every single morning, I let you know God's with me all the time. I don't make no excuses, and I'm unapologetic about it. That I read a scripture in the morning before I start exercising because
Amen.
that's
Amen.
how we
First
get.
fruits.
That's the
First
what
fruits.
are you talking about. We gonna eat before we do anything, right?
Yes.
So let me
Yes.
tell you what I had a little piece of this morning, right? So I got a little some food.
Uh,
So that's my story with everything and how I
that is so awesome.
see, like I said, Candace, movement, meals, and mindset is my jam. When you said to me earlier on, how do I keep the energy up, especially now in this pandemic? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm that. If you say to me, Candace, who are you? I will simply say I am energy, and I am the energy force for others. So I know that people feed off my energy. So that was probably
Right.
the biggest challenge that I had with going online, because I know that you feed off of me. So one of the things with me up in the morning at 6 o'clock and no one's here in my living room that I call my virtual gym, but me. How do I get you to get as energetic and charged and motivated to really get moving?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I picture we have about 50 people in the group right now. We're moving to phase 2. Phase 2 starts tomorrow. So if you want to join phase 2, you're more than welcome to do that. They asked me to keep going after the 40 days. So what we're doing now is that we're building a volume 2. So now volume 2 is basically going to be all the words from the ladies in the group. So volume 2 is coming. So for the next, I'm going to have 100 words. So for this next one, it's going to be 60 words. That's going to come in because we got 60 days in phase 2 that we're working with. So we're coming up with 60 new words, and everybody is in the group is helping me write my next, chapter for this, or my next volume for this book. So I just picture you being there.
Wow.
Yes.
This is really great. I'm looking through the book and I see words like wonderful, happy, surrender, spectacular, determined. I love this.
Yes. So that's what it's all about. It's like you have to say, you know what, today I want to wake up happy, right? I want to feel and show pleasure and contentment throughout my day. And the affirmation of that, because I give you an affirmation of it, I can live a healthy, happy life with focus and clarity in the direction I want for my purpose, right? I can live in a direction of clarity that I want for my purpose. I get to wake up today and be happy. I get to go in a direction that's going to make me happy as I work through my purpose. So that's what this says. And then on the other side, beyond the workout, because we're going to work out we're going to do some squats, and we're going to do some push-ups, and we're going to do some jumping jacks, we're going to do some crunches.
You're gonna get moving.
Tell you exactly what you need to do. And then I ask you a question about it, and I simply say, you know what? What do you need to change to attract happiness? What do you need to change? Because, everything that we're doing, and even as I sign each and every one of these books, so if anybody want a copy of it, the first question I write in here that I ask you is, what do you want to change? What do you want to change? And as you go through the book, let your word do the work for you. So the question is, if you really want happy, Candace, if you really want happy, are you willing to do what's necessary to attract happiness to you? If you want, I want to say this because this is funny when I put this in here. There's if you go to page 60, Candace, right? Go to page 60. And I want you to read that to me. Go to page 60.
All right. 60. Fat be gone. Fat be gone. Release weight with a sustainable lifestyle without the pressure of perfection. The affirmation is, I deserve a healthy, sound body and a beautiful mind.
You deserve it. And that's the question you have to ask yourself.
Wow.
So if you want fat to be gone,
I do.
Really? So you do. So the next question I say to you, okay, let's build the plan uniquely to you so you can get rid of your fat if that's what you want. Because if you want it and you really, really want it, I mean, and you really, did I say really, really, really want it?
I got to do the work behind it.
Not only that, you got to do the work, but the works come after you made your decision and you start to run your race for the fat to be gone. So you have to make it very, very important to you. So you have to commit to fat being gone. So when you make a commitment to this and you start to build your plan out, you don't let nothing stop you. You don't let anything stop you from your plan. And that's how you run your race and your pace. And that's what it's all about. And pace means this, Candice, and it really means plan. That's the P, right? Right? Pace, P-A-C-E. So we're going to have a plan for the fat to be gone, right? We're going to hold you accountable. That's the A. right? So
Mm-hmm.
plan, accountability. The C is commitment and consistency. So you're going to be consistent, committed, and consistent to your change. That's the C. So you're going to plan it out. You're going to hold yourself accountable. You've made the commitment to be consistent. And the E is simply execute it. Execute
Mm-hmm.
P.
Wow.
Execute P.
Yeah.
Execute your plan. Little bit every single day. And every day you get up and you say, what have I done inside of my plan for me? For me. That's a question. Beyond God, when you talk
That's good.
about who's first in your life, beyond God, you say, who's first? Most of us is that we've been taught to feel
It's
guilty
for
to do
others.
others.
Yeah, others.
And if you do yourself, you're taught to feel guilty. But I don't feel guilty about nothing I do for me. I'm going to go do for you. But first, I'm going to go do for myself. And that's how it goes. We really should use, and we'll hear it a lot about the mask in the airplane, give yourself the oxygen first
Yeah.
before you help others. I believe that, and I literally live that. But most of us women, we
We
don't.
don't.
And
We
that's one of
don't.
the
It's
things we
so
have to
true.
turn around.
It's so true. That is really a lesson right there, a real lesson. So oh my, Candace, I thank you so much. I thank you so much for all that wonderful tidbits on trying to be sexy, fit, and well. That is awesome. How much time we been on here now?
Right. Well, you know what? As it turns out, we're good. So as you
We're
go
good?
through it, we're coming to the end,
Okay.
as you look about it. So I would say if I had 3 tips to give to anybody that's listening to this when you're talking about, turning some things around, I would simply give them exactly what I told you at the end. Whatever it is, recognize your change, make a decision to change. This is how I beat cancer. This is how I stay
Wow.
sexy, fit, and well. This is how I came from being 215 pounds
Wow.
down to, 125 pounds and kept it off for the last
Yeah.
30 years. So I started running my race at my pace. So that means that once you make a decision and
Mm-hmm.
you pace it out, you run your race at your pace. So you got
Mm-hmm.
your plan, right?
Right.
You got your accountability, you make the commitment, and then you execute it. If you cannot execute the plan by yourself, you hire the baddest coach in the world. And that's me. I'm full bias here.
That's her, y'all. That's Candace, the Wellologist. I'm
So
telling you, so right.
sometimes you can't do it by
thank you,
yourself.
Candace. Thank you for being my guest on Coffee with Candy. And those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Candace Brookins, and I am an encourager, okay? And I have a page on Instagram and Facebook called Coffee with Candy. Coffee with Candy, excuse me. And in the morning, before you start your day, hang out with me. Let me know you're there and say hello. Okay, guys, thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you,
before I go,
Candace.
Candice, before you go, let me just tell the folks how they can get in touch with me. So
Okay, yes.
if you want, I would love to stay connected to each and every one of you. I am Candace Camille, the Wellologist. You can find me on Facebook, Candace Camille, the Wellologist. That's my fan page, giving out all kind of health and wellness tips there on my page. Connect with me on Instagram. I'm at the Wellologist, of course, social media. You can go to my website, and I would love to give your guests a free download if they would like. They can go to my website, CandiceCamille.com, and download the free smoothie ebook for you to get you started
Awesome.
on your race, so you can have that. I am at the Wellologist on Twitter and LinkedIn as well. I would love to stay connected. And if you have any questions, by all means, I'm Candace Camille. Inbox me and ask your questions. Let's stay connected. Let's become sexy, fit, and well, because I think every woman in the world deserves to be sexy, fit, and well.
I love it. I love it. Let's click cups. Click cups. Where's your cup?
Oh, yeah. I got my cup. I got my water bottle. But you know what? I don't have it here.
A coffee cup.
But you know what? Even at this moment, I'm going to just do a virtual cup with you as we stand, because I forgot my cup. I'm really, really sorry. But let's just tip cup to Coffee with Candace. and becoming sexy, fit, well.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you soon, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.